Hey everybody, Adhpa here. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, Adhpa is a name that I used for this channel for my own reasons. And what I do here is explore energy faculties, how to use them, experimentation with them, and then I share a tarot reading along with it to see what that renders up and see if that gives us any additional information. So today for this week, I've spent all day in the garden. It's Earth Day when I'm recording this, and really enjoying doing a lot of work. So I'm getting to this kind of late, but I've been mulling over various concepts in my mind over the past week. There's been a lot of struggle out in the real world for a lot of people that's come forward this week. A lot of things impacting people's rights, human rights, and so forth. And I really feel like most of the issues that humanity faces are because we are divorced from understanding energy and our energy faculties and how to use them, and therefore we end up sort of not using our full complement of intelligences when we're dealing with various issues and working with each other. And that if we each of us individually learned about our personal energy fields and how we work with it, we would probably find solutions to those answers. That's my theory about it, and why I do this work and try to share it. So if other people appreciate that theory, they can maybe pick up some tools for how to do it and working with it. So please click the like button and subscribe and share this if this is something you're interested in. I do personal readings. Contact me via the email in the description below, and I will get back to you and we'll see if we can set something up if that's something that you're interested in. So one thing that I've really been focusing on this week, as I'm investigating human delusions, is the concept of how we hold on to delusions as beliefs, mostly because we don't examine them closely. So the human is built to have delusions. You have to have delusions of some sorts, or you wouldn't really feel safe in a world that's inherently unsafe. And of course, there's imagination and inspiration and visions. All of these can be creating delusional concepts and using them to further yourself, in reality. And so it's a useful tool. In fact, it's really a faculty. It's kind of an energy faculty. But like any tool, if you don't use it correctly, it really creates a lot of harm. You can hurt yourself with that. So what I'd like to talk about is the possibility that humans could start to regularly examine their delusions against reality and cleanse themselves of beliefs that are really just delusional. So what I've been saying is an unexamined delusion is indistinguishable. An unexamined belief is indistinguishable from a delusion. Because if you're not looking at your beliefs, you have no idea how they truly reflect reality. And so if they are purely delusional, if you're not looking at it and you're not willing to look at it, it's going to create issues. So I'd like to recommend that people regularly pull out their beliefs, however dearly held, whatever they are, and examine them. And examine them against reality, whatever they are, whatever it is. For myself, for instance, I have long had the belief in doing my gardening on the moon signs. So today is just about halfway between the full moon and the new moon. It's a time for clearing and weeding. And I believe when I work on those moon signs that it goes easier. It's easier on me. It lasts longer for the garden. And it just works easier. So I challenge that by experimenting with it. I go out and I try that and I see, in fact, what does occur. It's been my experience that working with those moon signs has led to a much more productive garden for me and a lot less stress and physical strain on my body, because if I clean during the right period, things stay cleaner longer. If I nurture during the right period, things grow stronger. So that's how I look at belief systems. But I'm always challenging that belief. I'll share with people, this is how I do it, and this is what's happening. But I won't say to them, this is the way to do it, because that would be a delusion in itself in a world that's full of diversity. So what I'd like to do now is pull a little reading about examining our beliefs and ask the cards to give us some information about, is that a good practice? How do we do it? And what is the outcome if we do regularly examine our beliefs to identify and then deal with any delusions that we might hold. And I will say that you can deal with your delusions in numerous ways. You can look at them and appreciate them for what they bring you, recognizing they're delusional, but they're useful for you. And so you might keep them. You might look at them and say, oh, that really doesn't fit with everything else that I've been believing, and choose to get rid of it. You might choose some balance of those things. Of course, there's a multitude of ways that anybody could make a decision once they've identified something as delusional. It doesn't mean you have to give it up. So a lot of people are afraid to look at those beliefs because they're afraid they'll have to give it up. Religion's a perfect example. The system of religion is very dualistic. But if you understand that, you can still pull great wisdom out of your religion and enjoy your religion without believing things that are clearly delusional and hurt people. All right, so hold tight and I'll bring you down here and we'll have a little look and see what the cards have to say this week. Okay, so we're going to use the Hip Chick Tarot by Maria Strom. And then we're going to use the Chakra cards by Tori Hartman for clarifiers. As usual, I have shuffled the decks, but I'll shuffle a bit more now as we ask the question about examining our delusions regularly, our belief systems, identifying delusions, and dealing with them. So what do the cards have to tell us about the practice of examining our delusions regularly, examining our belief systems regularly, and identifying the delusions that serve us and the ones that don't, and which beliefs have a valid basis in reality. All right, let's see what the cards will throw out for first card on this question. What can the cards tell us about regularly examining our beliefs and identifying delusions versus realistic and functional beliefs? And looking at our delusions in general and how to deal with them. What do the cards have to say about this? Well, there we go. We got one out. Cards are ready. Sorry about that, folks. And so look at these as well. Oops. All right, and we got one out of there as well. Cards are ready. All right. So, signifier card, we have the Three of Think. That is the Three of Swords. This is usually a card of betrayal, and you'll see on her shoulder she has that little broken heart. So, this is about thinkings, betrayal in thinking. I think that is very much speaking about delusion. Clarified by impartiality. Oh, that's very interesting. Because what that's saying to me is that we have to take an impartial look at our belief systems, our thinking. The card that challenges it is the Queen of Create. Queen of Create in this deck is the same as the King of Wands. So this is the one that has an external actions of passion, creating externally. And this is the challenge for us. If we are in delusion, it interferes with our ability to create in the world, creates an insecurity in it. The thing that we can control in this is the Two of Hearts. This is that energy, the Two of Cups. The Two of Hearts is two energies coming together to create more energy. We have control over the energies that we choose to work with, and clarified by quest, the energies we bring to our purpose and our quest in life. Recent past affecting us is the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Earth in this card. This is typically a card of sort of hoarding up well-being, waiting for the harvest. Maybe laying back a little bit too much. Maybe not taking the actions that we need to make these things grow. So in the past, there's a bit of hoarding up of well-being. We're trying to like gather up well-being. And this is clarified by abundance. That's what we want. We want abundance. But this is kind of an earth thinking that's from the recent past that affects our ability to look at our belief systems. The thing we can't control is the Three of Earth or Three of Pentacles, and you often see that in other decks as people working behind the scenes. I also see it as creating chiseling into the wall of the temple the truth or something to recognize you, like your name, like they chisel your name in the wall if you've paid for the church, that sort of thing. So there is this working behind the scenes, but it's about creating a permanent record, something, making your mark. You might say it's about making your mark on the world. And we can't control the mark we will make, as clarified by instinct. That's very interesting. The mark that we make on the world that we can't control is maybe the one that we instinctually think we are trying to make. And maybe it's that our instinct will lead us to the real mark on the world, and we may not see that. And that may be something in our belief systems to examine. What we are trying to manifest by examining them. Five of Create. This is the Five of Wands. It's like a mock battle. It's like stirring up all the passions. So this is what you manifest when you, or let me say, this is what people think they will manifest if they examine their beliefs. They're afraid it will create this chaos within, and that is clarified by prayer. You know, that they're trying to create something. They're praying for something to be created out of these sets of beliefs. And it what it manifests is like a conflict with their prayers. These delusions interfere with your own intentions and ability to create what you are prayerfully the highest good. Okay, how we see ourselves in this is the child of think. This is like the page of swords. This is an immature thinking. We see ourselves as like the children. Our thoughts can take us to the moon, to Mars. You know, we are creators of thoughts, and it's a very creative card in that regard, but it's also immature. So it's a little bit like we can get off track. We can be tilting at windmills. And it's clarified by guilt. Oh, that's very interesting. It's like we take steps or our thinking goes places, but it's driven by a sense of guilt. It's not driven by us having conscious control over it and having agency. The situation in which we sit, now this is the boss of think. This is like the queen. The boss of swords would be like the queen of swords. And this is the internal thinking. This is like you're the boss of your own internal thinking. It could be, you know, when we're talking about these delusions, the environment in which we sit is that we are responsible for those thoughts and delusions and beliefs. Isolation. We alone, we are isolated in responsibility for what we think and believe. Even though we may get it from a lot of outside people, in the end, the environment in which we can examine our beliefs is a solitary one, an internal one. Hopes and fears, we have the Five of Earth. This is the Five of Pentacles. This is, people are afraid if they give up or look at their belief systems, they're going to lose everything. They're going to lose their church. They're going to lose their home. They're going to lose their connections. This is the thing. People are afraid of losing what they have if they take the chance to examine those beliefs carefully. And this is clarified by joy. So there is a release, a joyful release in letting go of delusions. And what this is saying is that people are afraid of losing their joy. They're afraid of losing everything. When you have a delusional belief, it can make you very happy. It might lead you into a wall and harm, but it might make you feel happy to have that delusion for a while. So the final outcome on this is the Seven of Think. This is the Seven of Swords. This is what we often think of as the thief card. But really it can be a taking back your own, reclaiming your own thoughts, coming back in or back out, coming out of a delusion and back into your own power. This is what will happen. You steal the power away from those beliefs and delusions and reclaim it for yourself. And this is clarified by expansion, which, it's going to expand your universe. That's what it will lead to if you will do it. Bottom of the deck, will. Will is that, it's like the chariot. This is moving ahead. This takes your will. You have to make it do the work. You have to make it happen. Nobody can make it happen for you. And then this is clarified by soulmate. And that's very interesting because we have the chariot and the two, and then we have the soulmate. It's like if you will do this work, then you can be open to mating your soul to your real path. I think that's what these cards are saying. So have a look at it, leave me a comment, let me know. Hold on a second, and I'm going to bring you up again, and we'll close this out. Okay, so I think that was another successful read, an interesting read. If you are willing to do this work, it's going to open up opportunities for you to really manifest in your highest good. And if you're not willing to do this work, it could impede your manifestations you're creating. So I think that's what the cards are saying. The cards really do seem to be telling us that an unexamined belief is indistinguishable from a delusion. And if you refuse to examine them, you may be stopping your own progress in life and surrendering your own joy. So throw away the guilt, throw away the fear. It's only you. You don't have to do it in front of anybody else. You don't have to share that experience with anybody else. You can just do it yourself and free yourself to open up to expansion. All right. Thank you guys. I really love you. Please click like, subscribe, leave me a comment, something we could talk about maybe next week. I really look forward to seeing you again then. So have a great week, everybody.